Today guys won't be so much of a comedic video, it'll be more of a nostalgia video trying to jog those memories of yours and be more aimed at the gamers around my age range, maybe a bit older. Maybe a bit younger, I doubt it though, because Fortnite. That's one. Halo is my baby.
A friend slash a babysitter introduced me to Halo 3. I would go to his house after school because my mum was still at work, and he would just show me new things, and one day he showed me Halo 3. That was a good day. The Halo franchise was a big part of my life, but most likely Halo 3 and Halo Reach. Those two games I'll be talking more specifically during this video. There's Halo 1, which I haven't played, Halo 2 I haven't played, Halo 3 I have played, that was the first Halo I played, Halo Reach I've played, Halo 4 I've played, and then all the Halos Remastered I've played. So I'm not classifying Halo 1 and 2 at the start because I played all of the remastered versions, and I haven't played Halo 5. Bungie pieced together these guns that just work so well with the environment within each level, the recoil and the sound effects that came from them, the reaction you get from using these weapons is just so fulfilling, and it just felt so good using a gun in a game. It was the start for me to get hooked to the first person shooter. I've played multiple first-person shooters ever since I touched Halo 3. It was such a good variety of weapons in Halo 3. They had the assault rifle, which is the full auto weapon, the battle rifle, which was the semi-auto weapon, the shotgun, the sniper rifle, the SMG, the spiker, the magnum, the plasma pistol, the plasma rifle, the needler, the beam rifle, which was the alien variation of the sniper rifle, the brute shot, which was like a grenade launcher. Then they had the rocket launcher, the Spartan laser. Oh, Spartan laser was just fun to use. The energy sword, the gravity hammer, the Covenant carbine, which is one of my personal favorites, the Mauler, the Sentinel beam, and the flamethrower, which is really fun on the flood levels that they gave to us. Guns in Halo 3 were fun to use. Both the Covenant and humans had their own vehicles, but they both had their similarities, as in, let's say, there was the human tank named the Scorpion. The Covenant slash the aliens would also have their own variation of a tank, which I believe the human version was better because it was more accurate, but their version was called a Wraith. So I think each side had their own variation of the same type of vehicle, and most of the vehicles made you feel very powerful. Like when you use a Scorpion on the mission on the Ark where you destroy those scarabs. I'm pretty sure I had to destroy 2 of them. No, that was the other mission, you have to destroy 1 of them. But that made you feel so powerful because you would just blow those legs up, it will shut down, you just blow up the back part of the scarab and destroy it without even having to hop aboard it. The vehicles were well crafted, and they really convinced you on using them because of how much more powerful you felt when you used them. the AI were dumb at times, but this made it more interesting and entertaining personally, I believe. Like, let's say a Marine is on your team and he's running with you at the start of a mission, and you hop in a vehicle, and he would not hop on the turret, he would hop on the side. Even though the turret is free, he would not hop onto it. And even if a Marine was driving, they would crash 50% of the time, and it would just slow the game down so much, and it would make it so much more painful, and it would break you out of the immersion. This is what I believe though. Some of the lines though that the AI would say would be humorous depending on the timing and what they say.
Hang on to something. I'm not good at driving. Anything's better than walking.
And the variety of enemies that were in the game as well. Like, we've got the Flood, we've got the Covenant, but then within these two categories of enemies, we've got a huge list of archetypes, like the Brutes, the Elites, which actually join your side in Halo 3. So yeah, they're not classified as the enemies. Then we've got the Grunts, the Jackals, the Hunters, but there's like a variety of different types of each race. Then we have the Flood as well, which I found quite intimidating and scary when I first started playing Halo 3. Which is understandable, I was fairly young, and I don't know exactly what age I was, but I know I was fairly young. Halo 3 Flood were scary, and I remember the first mission we had to do versing them, and it was just worst day of my life. Let's say that, it was the worst day of my life, having to go through that mission at my age. Actually, I think I remember where once I reached that level and I attempted it, I was too scared to actually finish it. I don't remember specifically, but yeah. Then I came back to the game and finished it. I didn't wait too long though. I waited just long enough for me to go, hey, okay, I can finish this. They're not that scary. I can do this. Or maybe I had someone sit beside me to help me go through it. Easter eggs. Bungie loved their Easter eggs. So much in fact that they would place them around everywhere in their games, and I loved it. Loved it. For me, just playing the story missions on repeat because of my lack of internet, and that Halo 3 just intrigued me with its storyline and its gameplay so much. I enjoyed playing it so much. It entertained me so much that I just repeated the missions over and over again. And that allowed me to discover a fair few of Easter eggs. Let's say I discovered some skulls, you know, skulls that give you those abilities. I discovered some of those terminals that would tell you backstory or lore on the characters / game and its universe. My favorite one, I found a family of monkeys. That's, I'm pretty sure, during the first mission where you're on Earth in the jungle. That was... I felt actually really proud of myself when I found that without internet, because I was just like, I don't know, I on my replays, I played it like a couple dozen times, maybe 2 dozen times, because a couple dozen sounds a bit ridiculous, but like 2 dozen times, I like played the campaign on repeat, and I would just go around looking around the place, and I found these family of monkeys. I also found some Marines. I think it was in the second mission. A group, like, and while you're evacuating, I found these Marines. They were having a conversation. Now, I don't remember distinctly what the conversation was about, but I'm pretty sure it was intended to be funny. But yeah, I just enjoyed searching for these Easter eggs. and discovering them. You just felt so proud of yourself when you found these Easter eggs, and then you'll tell your friends about it at school, and they'll ask you where you found it and how you found it. It was fun. It was good connecting with friends through games, even offline games, which were 100% the case for me at that age because I had no internet.
Hey, open up!
Password, please!
You gotta be kidding me. What password?
The password so we don't open the door for brutes.
Do I sound like a brute to you?
Well, you could be held prisoner by brutes.
If I was held prisoner by brutes and knew the password, then the brutes could just force me to tell you the password and you'd open the door for them.
Okay, well now I'm definitely not gonna open the door.
But we need ammo!
Well, why don't you go ask your brute buddies then?
When I first played it, I didn't fully understand what was going on because I didn't play the previous ones at the time, although my young mind still enjoyed playing it. I did know I was trying to find Cortana and that was the main objective, but that was most of what I thought back then. We had 9 missions in the game too. We had Sierra 117, Crow's Nest, Savo Highway, if that's how you pronounce it, the Storm, Floodgate, the Ark, the Covenant, Cortana, and then finally Halo. 9 missions. But these were pretty lengthy missions. I've read up on some pretty negative opinions on Halo 3's story, which is understandable because everyone has their opinion, but based on my personal past, I believe it was a great story, and I have played it again recently, just for this video, and yeah, personally I believe it was a great story. The story brought you to multiple environments, for example the sandy dunes of the Ark, the jungles of Earth, inside an underground UNSC base, etc. The characters in the game really added more depth to the story, like just the way they reacted to certain events in the game, and the thing is though, your character doesn't react as much, like you don't see his reaction because he's always wearing a helmet, he's always meant to look like a badass, he's always meant to look serious, and you don't hear him, he barely talks, and when he talks monotone, I believe. Yeah, mostly just monotone. He's a very serious, badass fellow. That's what he's meant to portray. So you don't get much opinion or reaction or emotion from him. So you have to gain most of the emotion, most of the story / character structure from the other characters. Like for example, Sergeant Johnson, Jacob Keyes, Miranda Keyes, the Flood, because the Flood actually talk to you and assist you at the end of the story. Sorry for spoilers if you have not played the game yet. And also the Arbiter. You actually gain quite a good relationship with the Arbiter within the story, which I really liked, especially if you played co-op with a friend and your friend would play as the Arbiter. That was really fun. I loved that. I miss the days where you would play split screen with friends. The level design. The levels, whoever put together levels is a freaking genius, I reckon, because it was just pieced together so well. Like each level convinced or made me use a certain gun or vehicle, which kept it interesting, kept on changing the environment as well within each level, and the difficulty between the end and the start and the middle of each level, and until you reach the end of the game and the first half and the second half of the levels. It was just pieced together so well. From my experience, from each level getting harder and harder, either because I was a dumb child or the levels were made well and effectively to keep you intrigued and keep you challenged and just to keep you playing in general. Each level had options. So let's say I don't have to use this gun or vehicle, or I can use a different one. Maybe I can go somewhere else first or attack from whatever direction. This really made the replayability for this game so much more fun. Like, I could just do a stealth mission, at least attempt to. That's what I did on one of the Earth missions when I was saving Sergeant Johnson. I remember I attempted to do stealth. I don't know if it worked out in the end, but I think it worked in the first half because the game wasn't really built for a stealth aspect, but I did at least attempt it, and it was fun trying these new things. Just in general, Halo 3's level design was just amazing. Finally, music. You thought I wasn't gonna talk about music, huh? Well, I am. Of course I am. This is Halo music we're talking about here. We're talking about the music that gets you pumped for Halo. Oh, yes. If you have a Halo video and you notice that they don't talk about music, then they're big dum dum. But Halo 3's music was mesmerizing. All of Halo's music was good, to be honest, actually. Like, it was that kind of music that would give you goosebumps, and because it was placed in perfect moments of the game, it just worked so well. I love the music. Bungie chose to make this angelic music for this game, and it worked so well for the game. To be honest, I have this music on Spotify, and it doesn't give me goosebumps anymore, because it gave me goosebumps within the game because of the timing and what was happening in the game with the music playing worked so well together that it actually gave me goosebumps. I just loved it. I like to call it goosebump worthy. Halo 3 is goosebump worthy. It's a goosebump worthy game with goosebump worthy music that mold together and just work perfectly. In general though, Halo 3 is one of those things that just shaped my love for games and for gaming, and I guess first person shooters as well. I actually only recently watched the advertisements for the game, since I got it a while after its release, and I never really had to watch it because I already owned it. But while I was doing my research on the game for this video, I came across it, and it was actually really interesting, and like it was done so well and actually hooked you into the game's universe, and it made you feel sorrow for the war that's happening in this universe, because of the way they crafted those little pieces for the Believer ad was just done so well, and the emotions you saw on those faces and stuff like that. And it ended with Master Chief being held up by some brute leader. Now I'm just going to quickly state that Halo 4 was disappointing. When I played Halo 4, I did play it for a long time, but it was nothing compared to Halo 3. But when I played Halo 4, I lost my love for the game. And I didn't get Halo 5, it didn't hook me, but it was also because of how much Halo 4 has just fucked up the Halo universe and the Halo franchise, I reckon. I'm sorry, 343, but you can't remake what Bungie have done and keep that same audience. If you do, I'm going to be impressed, but so far you haven't. You've grabbed a totally different audience, at least from my perspective you have. And I'm just happy that I played the game in general. Well, I'm gonna say during its time, a bit late, but still practically during its time, prime time. Halo Reach. Boy, that was my... I love that game. It came pretty close to Halo 3, I have to say. Some people might not think that, some people might think otherwise, but it came pretty close to Halo 3 for me. Halo Reach was a second Halo game I played, and I was introduced to it by a neighbor I had in the past. Like, I would visit his house and I saw him playing Halo Reach, and I couldn't get it because it was rated MA, and I wasn't allowed it because I was too young for an MA rated game. I eventually got it though, and it was still in its prime when I got it, which I'm so thankful for. Hallelujah. Like, okay, so I got Halo Reach when I still had no internet, and I would just do what I did in Halo 3. I would replay the missions over and over again, but this time there was a rank. You gained credits and a rank from playing the story missions and doing other things online, but I had no internet, so I just replayed the story missions over and over again. And I would have to say I liked the campaign pretty close to Halo 3's campaign, but it still wasn't as good, and I was disappointed when we couldn't kill the scarabs in Halo Reach. That really annoyed me, because I loved doing that in Halo 3 and I was excited to do it in Halo Reach, but nope, you can't do that. You can't do that. And the last mission was good and it was memorable and it was a good emotional thing, but it kind of annoyed me because, like, you finishing the campaign was you dying. I don't know, it just annoyed me when I was younger and I did it. But once I got internet, Halo Reach custom games was the shit. Was the frick. Halo Reach custom games was the frick. Let me just list some off for you guys. We got Avalanche, we got Chamber Demons, we got Fat Kid, we got Drive or Die, Ghostbusters, Plummeting, Tetris, Cork Blorkin, don't even know what that one is, Floor Master, Spider Monkey, Goose Chase, Crash Up Derby, Flushing, Cops and Robbers, Jump Rope, Killbox, Teacher, the list goes on. People were creative in Halo Reach. Bungie blessed us with custom games, and it was done so well because your imagination could just go wild with it. The only limit was how many pieces you can lay out in the game, but it was amazing. Loved Halo Reach custom games. I actually told a legend when I got online, which was true. You cannot believe me if you believe that I'm lying or something like that. Like, I don't care. But me playing the campaigns over and over again in Halo Reach while I was offline got me enough credits and XP to reach rank Field Marshal. Yes, rank Field Marshal. That's a high one. It's not max, but it's still pretty high for getting it offline by just playing the campaign over and over again. And I was not that smart with technology then, so when I got online, I think I created a different account or something. Like, I didn't use the same account I had on my 360, I just made a new one. And I wasn't that smart with technology back then, so I think I just made a different account. and I didn't use the same one that I had while playing offline, so I just reset my rank, and then I'll go around telling the story like, oh guys, when I was offline I used to be rank Field Marshal, and now I'm whatever the low ranks were, now I'm Corporal or something, or Warrant Officer. I think those were the low ones. I don't know what rank I reached when I was online though. I don't remember. I don't own the game anymore either. I should probably buy it back again, just for that, just for the sake of having it. Bungie in a whole are brilliant. Now I might make another video in the future about me playing Destiny 1 with a huge group of friends, because Bungie made that game as well, and to be honest, I was hooked by Destiny because it was made by the same people, and I'm glad I bought it and played it. I was hooked. I was excited and hyped for Destiny 1 a year before it released. Like, we'll look at fan art, videos on it and stuff like that. But yeah, I might make a future video about Destiny, if I can make it lengthy enough. But yeah, Bungie in a whole were brilliant. Made a incredibly good franchise until they left, and then 343 tried to expand on it, but it didn't really work. I personally believe it didn't really work. And they're still trying. They could get better, but I don't know yet. I'm still waiting to see what Halo Infinite's like. I don't know what it's gonna be like. Could be good, could be bad. I don't know. But Bungie in a whole, love them to death, and I hope they live on. And I'll continue to play their future games. And that's the video, guys. Ciao.